Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Belgrade. What a night we have in store for you in the Serbian capital as fans from both sides of the city on the Sava assemble at the Stark Arena for the first ever encounter on the European stage. Tonight, the black and whites of Partizan face the red and whites of Crvena Zvezda in round 12 of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. It was a chilly start to the season for the Red Star. The team lost 6 of their first 7 games, but the arrival of coach Duško Ivanović completely transformed the season. The Star carry a 4-game win streak into the EuroLeague in tonight's epic contest. Well, Partizan enter their home arena tonight in the midst of a 3-game losing streak, including a loss in Madrid when they conceded 105 points and a heartbreaking overtime loss to Valencia right here last week. With the support of the faithful fan base, Coach Obradović will try to get things right tonight against the boys from the other side of the tracks. Well, we've heard from both of the coaches. We bring you action in round 12 of the regular season of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague in the first ever meeting between Partizan Belgrade and Crvena Zvezda Belgrade in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's telecast. The games we have in store for you this evening and tomorrow, as Turkish Airlines regular season is well and truly underway. Plenty of rivalries in this competition this year, but this is the first time we'll get a taste of how things go in Belgrade as Partizan look to host their crosstown foes. And here's where both teams sit in the table. It makes it ever so delicious as they sit right next to each other in 12th and 13th position. A win tonight will help not only secure bragging rights throughout the city until they meet again, but it will help them climb up the table into one of those coveted 8 playoff positions. You can see both clubs are on the wrong side of the cut, sitting in 12th and 13th position, respectively. Well, there's the captain, Branko Lazic, for Crvena Zvezda. New man, Ben Bentil. He'll know a bit about derbies, having played for Panathinaikos and their derby with Olympiacos. Can he keep his composure tonight? Luka Mitrovic from Novi Sad. Originally, he's not from Belgrade, but as a Serbian international, he'll know what this competition is all about. Crvena Zvezda will need his length tonight because the front court of Partizan and Lesor and Lede, 2 of the best rebounders in the competition. So at 2'6", Mitrovic will need to help out on the backboard. Here's Ognan Dobric. He's been with Crvena Zvezda since 2016. He had 20 points in the win over Bologna last week, and he would love to have a good performance tonight as they go against the crosstown foes. Across the midcourt stripe to take a look at the players who will feature for Partizan. Danilo and Jusic from Belgrade originally. I'm sure when this season started, he would have looked ahead at this fixture and just highlighted it as one to look forward to. Frenchman Matthias Lesor, he wore the colors of Crvena Zvezda, played 30 games for Red Star in the 2017-2018 season, had 22 points and 10 rebounds and a double-double in that overtime loss to Valencia right here last week. James Nunnally, 2017 EuroLeague champion with Fenerbahce. The team will need his composure tonight. He's one of the best shooters in the competition, averaging 44% from behind the arc. And Nunnally averages 11 points per game. He's one of 5 players for Partizan averaging double digits. Well, 2 of the best guards here in the league. On the left, it's Kevin Punter. On the right, it is Luka Vildoza. Punter also played for Crvena Zvezda back in 2019-2020. And interestingly enough, Punter needs 44 points to get to 1,000 in his Turkish Airlines EuroLeague career. Luka Vildoza needs 40. Just shows you that both of those guards can really fill it up. Punter in the top 10 in scoring, averaging 16.5 points per game. For Kevin Punter, he's got to do a lot of the work on his own because he tries to generate stuff off the dribble. There's no real true point guard right now for Partizan. Yamadar does a great job holding down the spot. And you can see the lineup here across the bottom of your screen for Crvena Zvezda. And Luka Vildoza also part of that turnaround for Crvena Zvezda. He didn't start playing until round 4, and by that time, his team had already lost 3 in a row. And Coach Ivanovic arrived in round 8 when Crvena Zvezda got a win against Asvel in the Alexander Nikolic Hall, which is right across the city here from the Stark Arena. We're in New Belgrade, where the Stark Arena sits. And when Partizan entered the EuroLeague this year for the first time in 8 years, they decided they would play their home games here. Crvena Zvezda play their home games at the Alexander Nikolic Hall. It is also another venue which brings great atmosphere. That seats about 5,000. We should have over 16,000 here tonight. And it should mostly be black and white. We'll see if we can see any peeps of the colors red and white for the Crvena Zvezda fans. Well, the Partizan players come out onto the hardwood, and this city is so jazzed up about the fact that Partizan are back in the top league in Europe. From 2001 to 2014, 13 years in a row, Partizan played in the EuroLeague. But from 2014 onwards, they haven't been in this competition. They played mostly in the Euro Cup. So the first time since 2014 that Partizan are back at the top table of European basketball. And these two clubs have never played each other in Europe. The only time they were together was in the 2018-2019 season in Euro Cup, but they never played each other. So it is an historic occasion. And the two coaches embrace each other at midcourt. And their careers, of course, they've gone against each other. Duško Ivanovic, the Montenegrin, coached Saski Baskonia for many years, and Željko Obradović, 9-time EuroLeague champion, has coached Panathinaikos for many years. Well, I'm going to let you listen to what is a wonderful feature here in this arena as the Grobari, as they call them, the black and white, the Gravedigger fans from Partizan sing their club song. I'll let you look at the starting fives for both teams, but I'm going to step out so you can hear the voices of the Stark Arena of the black and white side of Belgrade. And there they are. The fans, the 3 referees who will oversee things tonight. They're taking in the atmosphere as well. They're getting their picture taken by the table officials to mark the night that they played their part in the first ever meeting between Crvena Zvezda and Partizan in the EuroLeague. Alexander Mitrovic, Serbian international footballer, plays his football for Fulham in London. Captain of the national football team. This is the hottest ticket in town. You got to know somebody to get in the arena tonight. Well, the fans are singing the club song, loosely translated, I love the black and white. Some of the lyrics, I am proud to tell everybody that I love the black and white. I love this famous name, and I respect only them. And you can see just what it means to these fans clad in the black and white. They call the fans of Partizan the Grobari, the grave diggers, because it's like you're going to a funeral with all the black and white around. We'll see what kind of character the Crvena Zvezda players will show tonight. The great and the good are here, waving the flags, wearing their finery, and lifting their voices to the heavens as they support Partizan Belgrade. Well, Partizan make their 14th appearance in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, but as I said, it's been 8 years since they were here. Crvena Zvezda, their 9th appearance in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, and certainly on the Serbian stage, Crvena Zvezda have had the better success of the two clubs. They are the reigning Adriatic League champions, the reigning Serbian champions. In fact, the Serbian League, Partizan won it 8 years in a row. And then Crvena Zvezda have won it the last 7 years in a row. But you can throw all that out the window for the next 40 minutes. And you can see how the Crvena Zvezda players just trying to compose themselves here. They want to keep the crowd out of this, and the way to do that is to get a good start, get your noses in front, and try to stay in front. Well, Coach Obradovic started his coaching career here 28 years ago in 1992. When he led Partizan to their only EuroLeague title. They beat Juventud in Istanbul. Sasha Djordjevic had 23 points. Of course, Djordjevic, a coach at the moment, recently coached the Serbian national team, and he's been on the EuroLeague stage as well. Well, the players are ready to go now. They'll get a moment to try to compose themselves as we'll pay our respects to the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague theme song and give the players a chance just to try and get some pause as they try to absorb this energy in round 12 of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Well, the first few minutes for Crvena Zvezda will be critical here. Can they weather this opening storm and keep themselves composed? It'll be so hard to communicate. The two Americans, I beg your pardon, the Ghanaian-American, Bentel and Kevin Punter, embrace at midcourt. We're going to pause here and honor a minute's silence. Hopefully the fans will get the message. Well, respect played to Miodrag Jesic, who died in a car accident today. Our thoughts and the thoughts of both of the clubs are with him and his family. It'll be Partizan in their characteristic black and white uniforms, Crvena Zvezda in the red and white. And this place is ready to burst. The first ever meeting in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague between these two proud clubs, Partizan and Crvena Zvezda, both established back in 1945. We've been waiting a long time for this one. And the first possession into the hands of the visitors as Partizan settle into man-to-man defense. Here's the Argentine international, Vildoza. He has his pocket picked by Punter, and Punter will lay it up and in. Well, Kevin Punter doesn't start all the time for Coach Obradovic. He'll often come off the bench. He gets the start tonight. And look at the energy and the defensive intensity of Partizan. Good ball reversal here to Lazic, the captain, pulls the trigger, it won't go. And Bentel with the stick back. Well, Ben Bentel, exactly what you need when you're trying to get a win on the road. The little thing's so important. An offensive rebound here. He just out-muscles Jan Madar. And then the strong hands of the Ghanaian as he powers it up through the contact of Jonas Papapetrou. Well, Papapetrou will understand derbies. He's played for both sides in Athens, the green of Panathinaikos and the red of Olympiakos. So he'll certainly know quite a bit about local derbies as he gathers the rebound to get Partizan going the other way. Crvena Zvezda also start in man-to-man defense. Now Punter's going to try and break down. Branko Lazic rises. And that rattles the rim. Madar composes himself. His shot won't go. And Matthias Lesor inside. Well, Lesor, one of the top rebounders in the EuroLeague this season. He averages 7.8 rebounds per game. He's second in the league, but he gets over 4 offensive rebounds, and right there, he's just too strong for Kuzmic. End line out of bounds here for Partizan. Back into the hands of Punter. Now, inside to Lesor. Just can't finish the little bunny inside. Vildoza having a hard time handling the ball here early on. Kuzmic from the dots, all the way back to Vildoza, and he'll rescreen. That's good defense from Partizan. Good hustle. Unfortunate, this foul will go against Lesor. You love the hustle here of Lesor. Yeah, he's going to get down on the deck. He's just too late, but, you know, coaches will often get after players. Hey, if the ball's on the floor, there better be a jersey on the floor. And Lesor just commits a loose ball foul. Crvena Zvezda struggling to get in their sets. Difficult entry pass. The ball pressure has been really good. And now Lede picks up a cheap one on a foul on Bentel. Oh, it's on Punter. So a foul off the ball on Kevin Punter. As Coach Ivanovic, his first practice, all kinds of rumors about it. His first practice with Crvena Zvezda, 6 hours long. Some articles have said it was a long one. It certainly paid dividends. Crvena Zvezda went out in round 8 and beat Asvel at home. In round 9, they went to Berlin and beat Alba Berlin. Round 10, they came back to the Alexander Nikolic, beat Maccabi Tel Aviv. Last week, they beat Virtus Bologna, the Euro Cup champions. And here they are now, back home in a manner of speaking, in front of 16,000 baying Partizan fans. Dobric lets fly, and again, it's a long shot. There's no fluency on offense for Crvena Zvezda. 2 threes from distance the last 2 possessions. Kuzmic comes over to help out in the low post and scrambles back to Lesor. Lede, he fires. That won't go. And Lesor is just proving a handful here for Kuzmic. Kuzmic is longer than Lesor, but Lesor's quicker. Look at this. He just, little swim move. And then Kuzmic gets called for the hold. That sound right there will signal the departure of Ognian Kuzmic, who picked up 2 quick ones. I think Hassan Martin will come in and Stefan Markovic. Markovic, a former Serbian international. Plenty of those tonight. A lot of the players have represented Serbia. Mitrovic, Nedovic, Markovic, and Ognian Dobric from Crvena Zvezda. And Jusic from Partizan. So the players will know each other from their national team duty. Of course, they will have played together as youngsters. So lots of bragging rights. And look at the pressure of Madar. Inside to Hassan Martin, a new man. Markovic lets fly, and that's off the mark. Partizan, the last 2 games have led up 105 points on the road at Madrid in round 10, 100 points here in overtime to Valencia. And you can see their defensive intensity as they come back the other way and score. I love the bounce pass into the low post. Some fancy footwork from the Frenchman. And then Lesueur with some power to finish. I love the feed from Papapetru. Little bounce pass into the low post, and Matthias Lesueur did the rest. Partizan extends some pressure up the floor. Just take some seconds off the shot clock, and you can see Yamadar really, the on-the-ball pressure is good. Markovic struggling to get an entry pass. Now Bento gets a touch. Bento wants to bump and grind it. Lede spins to the baseline. It won't go. Partizan love to get out and run. Quick outlet to send Madar on his way. Little drag screen here from Lesueur. Good transition D from Crvena Zvezda. Yeah, tough pass to Punter. Yeah, really tough pass from Papapetru to Punter, which leads to the turnover. Kevin Punter will probably get the turnover because he stepped out of bounds, but that's one when your teammate passes you into trouble. Sometimes that's one of the ones where you just let it go into the first row and say, hey, man, that's not my TO. You got to talk to coach about that. It's been a great defensive start to this game for Partizan. Crvena Zvezda going to try to get some penetration. The runner from Dobric, it won't. Oh, he got the shooter's roll. That's one where you just stick your hand up defensively and say, look, we couldn't do anything about that. By contrast, look how much easier the entry pass is for Partizan. Side ball screen here. Yeah, good recognition. Can Lede convert? It's good. It's really good recognition from Papapetru. He felt the double team coming over to Lesueur. So he snapped the pass inside. We apologize for missing this. It just tells you how intense Partizan have been defensively. They score and they press. And Punter causes the turnover. We're going to get a break in the action, our first media timeout. Watch this. Just a heads-up play from Kevin Punter. He'll attack the rack and draw the foul on Branko Lazic, as Lazic and Markovic talk about who's responsible for that mental error. We'll take a break here from the Stark Arena. Partizan up 9-4 over their crosstown foes. Well, a sneak peek looking ahead to next week as AS Monaco hosts FC Barcelona. Both of those teams on the business end of the table in the top 8. Sasha Obradovic, the coach of AS Monaco, he is no stranger to basketball in this part of the world. There's Mitrovic. Sasha Obradovic, the coach of AS Monaco, represented Serbia internationally. I'm pretty sure he played for Crvena Zvezda during his club days. So Punter will go to the stripe to throw it twice. as he just hung around on the baseline to get a steal. Yeah, I can confirm that. So Sasha Obradovic did play for Crvena Zvezda. That's Dante Exum who's keeping his hands warm. And punter converts both. A New Yorker pushes the score to 11-4. You can see Madar staying close to Markovic. Markovic trying to get a high ball screen. And you can see how the defensive pressure of Partizan pushes the ball away from the basket. How long does Ivanovic stay with Markovic at the point? As he goes down the bench to get a sub, Lede flashes to the high post, has a look down low, can't get it. Yeah, Stevan Markovic shows his experience and draws the charge. Well, Markovic has got his hands filled offensively. Markovic in the twilight of his career, 34 years of age. He draws a charge there, all credit to him. But on the other end, he's got his hands full as the 21-year-old Yamadar puts him under pressure. Branko Lazic, the captain, comes out. Dobric comes out. As Crvena Zvezda try to find some rhythm, they'll bring in Nedovic. And Nedovic can manufacture points on his own off the bounce. Vildoza back on the floor as well. So this is the best backcourt the Crvena Zvezda have in Vildoza and Nedovic. Yeah, good push and pull by the two guards. A bomb from Nedovic. It won't go. And last touch by a black and white hand. Coach Ivanovic patrolling the sidelines. Yeah, Nedovic, oh, he just lost the handle. He's looking for a call, doesn't get it. Welcome to the Stark Arena. And Madar with a little travel, but he scores it. I think he might have got away with a little travel there, but it's in the book now. Nedovic, a long look at a three. It just won't fall. There's a lid on the basket right now for Crvena Zvezda. He won't get a better look than that tonight. Nedovic just couldn't knock down the three. Lede will try his hand. That's short. Can Crvena Zvezda get something in transition? Little drag screen here from Martin. Yeah, that's better. Martin, too, is looking for a call. He picks himself off the deck. It's 5-on-4. Punter steps into a three. Count it! Kevin Punter strings it. And right now, Partizan are rolling. Well, Partizan, 16 points on the board. A rhythm three for Kevin Punter. Off the feet from Madar. And the Grobari are loving it. Luka Mitrovic is going to come in for Crvena Zvezda. And the foul there. Is it on Punter or Madar? It's the second foul on Kevin Punter. John Holland on the right and Hassan Martin at the left, the two new arrivals to Crvena Zvezda. If that scorer blows a whistle, I'm not entirely sure the referees will hear it. There is such a din here. But here's how you need to manufacture points. Get to the stripe. And Nedovic makes one of two. So Punter with those two fouls. Great defense by Vildoza, who returns the favor to Madar. Good pick by Vildoza, El Ladron, the thief, as he lays it up and in. So Punter stays on the floor with his two fouls. Mid-range jump shot, in and out. Another offensive rebound from Lesor. What a pass from Madar. Papa Petru just wouldn't fall. Lesueur right now is a one-man wrecking crew as he emotes on the rack. He's irrepressible on the offensive glass. Lesueur with 3 offensive rebounds and 5 points to his name. Mitrovic. Oh, he definitely traveled. Well, Mitrovic flashes into the high post. He's trying to combine with Filip Petrusev, but just shuffled his feet a little bit too quickly. Watch this. Here's Lesueur. Just tips it. It's a great demonstration of how to rebound on the offensive end. If you can't get it, tip it. Keep it alive. Maybe one of your teammates gets it. Maybe you get a second chance at it. And Lesueur did just that. He tipped it, kept it alive, got 10 digits on it, and then flushed it. He's got his work cut out for him right now. Coach Ivanovic trying to figure out how he could get his troops to calm down. So Dante Exum gets his first minutes on the floor. His first season here in Belgrade, the Australian international. Punter. Maybe a bit impatient from the New Yorker. Hits the heel of the rim. Yeah, this is good transition basketball now. Oh, well, that's a good question here. How the referee's gonna see this? There's definitely basket interference. Are they gonna call this? Well, there's a foul first of all, then there's basket interference. So Vildoza's gonna hit the trailer on the break, and Petrusev is trying to make room for Mitrovic. Well, Petrusev might be getting away with a moving pick here. Punter will come out with his 2 fouls. I'd like to see this again. In comes Danilo Andjusic. He's in his second tenure with the club. Well, this is interesting. So the foul is on Lede as he's trying to fight through Petrusev's screen. And so Filip Petrusev will go to the line to throw it twice. Petrusev, just 22 years of age. He's from Belgrade originally. He played for Anadolu Efes last year, where he was a EuroLeague champion. He was just a kind of a bit part player for Efes, and he made the decision to return back to his native Belgrade to try to advance his career. He was an outstanding collegiate basketball player in the U.S. for Gonzaga, but he missed both free throws there. And Andjusic. Well, neither team really finding their feet from distance. Lazanovic feeds Nedovic, and that won't go. Good offensive rebound, and Mitrovic, he'll feed Nedovic. Nedovic can't quite find a touch. He's had a couple of clean looks, and he's still wearing the collar, no points. Lede. Now it's Crvena Zvezda's turn to play good defense. They're cutting off all avenues to the basket. And the heave and hope from Exum's off the mark, but just throw it up at the backboard and let Lesueur go get it. Exum, mid-post. It won't go. And again, it's Lesueur. He's surrounded by white jerseys. It's the 3rd possession. This trip down the floor for Partizan. Can they turn it into points? Lede probes. Exum rises. It won't go. Who touched it last? Well, it's a real problem now for Crvena Zvezda. Coach Ivanovic has to think about how he's going to handle the influence of Matthias Lesueur. Now, this doesn't go in a stat book, but it's the presence of Lesueur which buys his club another possession. The referee's going to take a look at it to see who touched it last. And this will give me a chance to take a look at the stat sheet. Lesueur's got 8 rebounds in the first quarter. And he's got 5 of them on the offensive end. Well, that's a tough one here. Who touched it last? Was it Lesor or was it Petrusev? Just looking at this, it'll be a talking point in the timeout for sure at the end of the quarter for Coach Ivanovic. You know, how do you cope with Lesor? You've got a gang rebound. The guards are going to get in there as well, and they got to try and fight for space and keep him off the boards. Well, I tell you what, that's a tough one to tell. Well, fans, we are in the 23rd edition of the modern EuroLeague, the 66th running of the European Championships of Basketball. And can you believe we have never seen these two clubs go against each other in this illustrious competition? The first ever meeting of Partizan and Crvena Zvezda. Crvena Zvezda hold 22 national championships. Partizan 21. These two teams played each other just 10 days ago in the Adriatic League. And Crvena Zvezda won that competition quite comfortably, 90-74. You wonder what type of adjustments Partizan have made. Certainly they've been tough defensively. As the turnover there. Well, that's just hard luck, isn't it? Trifunovic loses it. He fights to get it back. He commits a foul. Now watch, he won't even look at the bench. Don't look at coach, because first of all, you turned it over. Now you commit a foul. And this will send, I believe, Nedovic to the stripe. And there it is. I tell you, you were waiting for coach to get a look at Trifunovic, and you just saw it. Coach Abramovich just gave him both barrels. Trifunovic refused to look at the bench for as long as possible. I just love it. He's trying to help out Nedovic. He's trying to be a good sportsman, and all he's trying to do is avoid looking at the bench. And then he got both barrels. He turned it over, and he committed the foul in the span of about 5 seconds. And right now he's looking for a place to hide in an arena full of 17,000 people. Well, Nedovic dispatches both free throws. And Partizan with a comfortable 3-possession lead. Exum gets the sign from the sideline to see what set they're in. About a 4-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Lesor gets to the halo and converts. Now, quick outlet here for Crvena Zvezda. They find the hands of Vildoza. Vildoza looking for space. Great pass to Lazarevic, who lays it up and in. So good finish by Crvena Zvezda. Lazarevic with the finish off the feed from Vildoza. And could that be a portent of things to come here for the visitors? Right now, it is Partizan Belgrade 20, Crvena Zvezda 11 in round 12 of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Well, highlights in the first ever meeting between the two Belgrade clubs, the black and white and the red and white. The defense of Partizan was suppressing in the opening 10 minutes. A stick back from Ben Bentel. Just one of very few bright shining lights for the star. Matthias Lesor has been a one-man wrecking crew. He's got 7 points and 8 rebounds. He's almost got a double-double in the first quarter. No doubt he will garner best performance honors of the opening 10 minutes. It's a total team effort, as you can see. And let's not underestimate the contribution of Yamadar. He gets his pocket picked there, but he's been outstanding defensively. And the defense of Partizan is really great pass there by Madar. Really set the tempo of this game, as has this man, Matthias Lesor, with a stick back with authority. As I said, he played for Crvena Zvezda for 1 season, 2017, 2018. It's always great when you get a chance to go and play against your old club. And look at the battle of the boards, 18-8. I promise you that Coach Ivanovic is talking about rebounding in his huddle right now. And there it is. Without a doubt, Matthias Lesor, 7 points, 8 rebounds. He and Ledet play heavy minutes. They both play over 30 minutes a game. Right on cue. There's Ledet there. And they are a dynamic duo in the front court. Ledet, probably a bit more offensively talented than Lesor. He can make a jump shot. He can step away from the basket. But they both really give you every ounce of energy on the backboard. A little dribble weave here from Partizan. Crvena Zvezda come out with Vildoza, Nedovic, Mitrovic, Lazenovic, and Filip Petrusev. Partizan start with Exum at the point and Jusic, Trifunovic on the perimeter. Zach Ledet and Lesor inside. Here's Trifunovic now. And Jusic is a good shooter, but he's more of a spot-up shooter. He's going to try and break down his countryman here, and he lost the handle. It's numbers for, oh, what a great pass by Vildoza. The easy flush for Filip Petrusev, who bleeds out on the break. Yeah, and that's not in Jusic's game. He's more about catching and shooting. He can make 1 or 2 dribbles to create space, but he's not going to break you down on the bounce. There's your 5 on the floor for Partizan. And I think and Jusic might be departing as James Nunnally comes to the scorer's table. Well, nice stick back by Trifunovic. If you're Crvena Zvezda, now that's unacceptable. You know, you've got to cope with Lesor, and so you can't let a guard get his nose in there and get an offensive rebound. Nedovic on a curl cut. And Mitrovic with a moving screen. Well, Trifunovic is trying to exonerate himself from his transgression in the first quarter. Mitrovic protests his innocence. Mitrovic is from Novi Sad, Serbia's second city. It is a basketball mecca in and of its own right. But he's not from Belgrade. Of course, Belgrade, the capital city of Serbia. It sits right at the confluence of the Danube River and the Sava. Right at quite a strategic location. I highly recommend it as a place to come and spend a weekend or a couple of days. By all means, come here to the Stark Arena if you can get a ticket. And then see what the city has to offer. Punter back on the floor with those 2 fouls. Exum on the deck. And Petrusev, you can see he secures that defensive rebound. Well, unsportsmanlike foul here on Crvena Zvezda. I beg your pardon, on Partizan. Yeah, it's a reach. And the referee's straight on that. Brodzianski gets called for the unsportsmanlike. He's a late acquisition to the roster, the Slovakian international. And Nedovic back to the stripe. He's 5 of 6 from the line. There's John Holland right there. He'll provide some energy when he comes on. Still got his shooting top on. That's not good. Yeah, it's a tough pass from Mitrovic. He's having a tough couple of minutes. He signals over to the bench. Okay, I get it. Exum shaking a shimmy. Goes to the tin, it won't go. And again, another defensive rebound by Petrusev. First half action here in this Belgrade derby. Let me say a Dobroveče To any Serbian speakers who are joining us tonight, a very warm zdravo, hello, as they say, in this part of the world. Good defense by Lesor on the switch. You can see Lesor comes out to the perimeter to guard Nedovic, and Exum got caught down in the block. That's a good demonstration of how the ball pressure means that Exum doesn't get exposed defensively. Mitrovic spins. Yeah, polished move by Mitrovic. He signals over the bench, I want a sub. Branko Lazic back on the floor for Crvena Zvezda. He's a real hard-nosed ball player. Exum kicks. And Petrusev gets called for the foul. Well, in English, this derby is called the Eternal Derby. It's the Večiti Derby in Serbian. I hope my accent is good enough for the Serbian fans to understand. It's just a marvelous occasion. You know, the league this year, we got a moving screen. It's on Brodzianski, and he's going to come right out. Leday's coming in. Brodzianski's had a tough time. He's committed an unsportsmanlike foul. And then he commits a turnover here with this moving screen. He'll come out. And this year we've got plenty of rivalry games. Of course, the Panathinaikos Olympiakos game. This one with Bologna in the competition. Bologna and Milan. Another rivalry. Nedovic to the rim. Got it. That's his game. He's so electric. He's so athletic going to basket. He says to his teammates, come on, fellas, let's go. Strong drive by Nedovic. And all of a sudden, Crvena Zvezda trying to claw back in this one. They trail by 5. We'll take a look at the stats so far. And that battle of the board still decidedly over to the black and white side, 19-10. Both teams pretty good with the ball in their hands, 6 turnovers each. Nothing to worry about there. But look at that, Crvena Zvezda yet to knock down a 3. Well, both of these clubs historically have been incubators of talent. In recent years, Nemanja Bjelica came from Crvena Zvezda, and he had a longish career in the NBA. Of course, Bjelica won the NBA title with the Golden State Warriors. He's back in the EuroLeague with Fenerbahce. Luka Mitrovic, who was just on the floor, drafted by the 76ers. Igor Rakočević by the T-Wolves. So those players coming from Crvena Zvezda. Of course, Partizan have got their own tradition of developing talent. Perhaps most recently, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Serbian international and NBA player. Madar off the window, won't go. And again, Matthias Lesor with the offensive rebound. Inside, he's blocked by Hassan Martin. Well, that might be a good matchup. Martin and Lesor, 2 physical players. Nedovic wants the high ball screen. Shot clock at 10. Yeah, he just left his feet without knowing what to do with the basketball. A critical error by Nedovic. Madar finds Nunnally, and Nunnally can't get it. And Matthias Lesor with another offensive rebound. Lesueur right now has got 7 offensive rebounds. He's got 10 boards together. And Martin just can't contain him on his own. Good defense by Martin. The block shot as he stood tall. I think Nedovic is going to step out. Second foul on Hassan Martin, and Ledet rims out. Well, it's one of those games where neither team can really score with fluency. It's part and parcel sometimes of rivalry games. Some nerves gets the better of the players. This is for bragging rights in the city until these two teams play again. Petrusev knocks down a 3. And Filip Petrusev, that'll help soften up the defense as he levels the score at 22 each. Good hustle by Punter, and a great pass ahead to Hassan Martin, who'll throw it down. Great defense by Crvena Zvezda leads to a easy score, and all of a sudden now, the red and white of Belgrade have got themselves on top on the strengths of some defense. Crvena Zvezda get their first lead in the game in the first ever meeting between the red and white and the black and white of Belgrade. Well, we apologize for any savory language there. It's all part and parcel of the passion of the game. And you can see Coach Obradovic not happy with Petrusev knocking down that 3. He won't be happy with this turnover either. And it's a great touch pass by Dobric to send Martin on his way. I'm not sure if he'll get accredited with an assist for that. But Coach Obradovic can't call a timeout quickly enough. Just talking about the incubator of talent. We'll go across now to, as we see the top 3 scorers, 2 of them from Partizan. Partizan have developed. The most famous is Vlade Divac. Went to the Lakers. Danilovic to the Warriors. Nenad Krstic. Jan Vesely. Geoffrey Laverne, as I mentioned. Bogdan Bogdanovic. Nikola Milutinov. All talented players who came out of this club. Madar just steps in. Got it. Second round draft choice of the Boston Celtics. Another player who's here honing his game. Levels the score at 24 each. Petrusev runs into Lesueur and backs it out. Shot clock running down. Dobric has a look, has to let fly. Got it! Oh, Ognian Dobric rattles home a 3. And Partizan played terrific defense that possession. But Dobric rattles home the trifecta. And Madar, again, left his feet without knowing what to do with it. Now, it sends Crvena Zvezda in motion again. Another turnover and a score. And this has been the Achilles heel of Partizan. You know, they play with such great energy and great verve, but the mental errors sometimes. Madar to the rim. Great drive and 1. And this will be the 3rd foul on Hassan Martin. Well, Martin's going to have to exit. Madar goes up and left. You can see how Hassan Martin is trying to avoid the contact. But he just brushes Madar as Dobric knocks home the 3. Well, Nunnally, James Nunnally, you saw there having a word with Coach Obradovic. He won the EuroLeague with Coach Obradovic with Fenerbahce back in 2017. Nunnally in his first season here with Partizan. One of the best shooters in the league this year from distance. Averages 44%. Well, it looks like Hassan Martin's going to stay in the game with those 3 fouls. Oh, what a great pass from Martin. The look-away pass from Martin for the assist. He's looking over to the bench to see if he can stay a little longer. And we'll see now if Partizan go at him. They do. It's Lesor who gets it. Lesor moves it on, and Lede. Well, great passing on both ends of the floor as Lede shares the sugar with his front court mate. Vildoza, the runner is good. Well, Luka Vildoza is just surveying the play as he comes out of the screen and roll. He's looking for someone to give it to. And that one came down from the rafters as Vildoza nets it. Punter, stop and pop in the lane's good. Kevin Punter with 9. And now the game's got some rhythm. Dobrich. Quick pass to Martin. Martin's going to crab dribble, try to move the sore. Oh, Vildoza with the assistencia and the stuff from Petrusev. Oh, Vildoza pulling the strings here. The Argentine. Watch this. Il Mago. The sleight of hand and the magician sends it to Petrusev for the easy stuff. As Lesor picks up his second foul. That might be the only thing that stops Lesor tonight is foul trouble. And he's going to have to head out and get some pine time. As Petrusev will look to convert the N1. Filip Petrusev with 8. Stefan Lazarevic comes in. Alan Smailagic comes in to give Lesor a break. He's got the 2 fouls. We'll see if he comes back before the second half. Here's Smailagic now. Offers himself as a screener. Ooh, Punter. Yeah, Madar's just too quick for Markovic, but Martin with the swat. The second block for Hassan Martin. And you can see why Coach Ivanovic wants to keep him on the floor despite his foul trouble. He's got to make sure he doesn't get something on a moving screen. That is the worst place to turn it over. Right to your coach's lap. Watch this block from Martin. The perfect timing, and he pins it. Hassan Martin. Madar's just too quick for Markovic, but Martin comes from the help side with a great block. Martin stays on the floor with the 3 fouls. Exum. Here's Punter now. Smailagic from the dots. Goes through. Can't convert. Here's Martin now. A little sweep move. And turns it over. I think Martin wants a call on the baseline. He's too quick for Smailagic. And I am still surprised that Coach Ivanovic is going to leave him in with 1:30 to go, and you're up 5. Smailagic, can he make that? Rims out. And Lede just can't gather the offensive rebound. Speaking of which, Partizan have got 11 offensive rebounds. How many of them from Matthias Lesor? 7. So Papa Petru will come in. Nunnally will go out. James Nunnally averages 11 points a game. A little grimace there from the American. There's 5 players who average double digits for Partizan. They're third in the league in offensive productivity. They average over 80 points a game. Their problem is on the defensive end. They certainly give you great energy. And Markovic has got his hands full. At 34, he was guarded by Yamadar for the first few minutes, and now he's got Dante Exum. Well, Markovic might have got away with one there. Exum just 27 years of age. And we've got a timeout. I think Coach Ivanovic wants to talk things through as he tries to manage the last minute or so of the first half. And Partizan, who led for large passages of this game, find themselves looking down a double-digit deficit, down 5, which might get worse here with this possession. Well, you can hear the voices of the Grosbury. They just don't give up. Stay behind this club that they love so much. And we'll take a look at the contribution of Matthias Lesor. Yeah, nice spin to the baseline, powerful hands. The and one there. 7 points, 10 rebounds. He shows he's got some offensive skill, too. It's not just all about power and stickbacks. Mind you, nothing wrong with some power on a stickback. As the Frenchman showing some prowess in the post. Lesor in his 4th EuroLeague season. 1 season with Olympiacos. 1 season with Bayern Munich. 1 season with Maccabi Tel Aviv, and he's here for his first season with Partizan. Just a minute to play now in this first quarter. Nedovic back on the floor. That's a bomb from Nedovic. And that's disappointing. If you're Crvena Zvezda and you burned a timeout to get a deep 3, Coach Ivanovic won't be pleased about that. But the hustle will buy them an extra possession. Nedovic trying to break down Smailagic. Pass to Martin, and Martin converts. So Ivanovic's decision to leave Martin in the game pays a dividend. And now Crvena Zvezda open up their largest lead of the night, 7 points. It's a 3-possession lead as halftime beckons. Oh, punter came back to get it. Exum didn't deliver the ball on time, and now you got to live with a shot from Smailagic. Strings it. Smailagic with the mid-range jump shot. Now Crvena Zvezda with a chance to tack on the last points of the first half. The ball's in the hands of Nedovic. Nedovic goes right down Main Street for the score. And this will send both teams to the halftime changing room. And just like that, Nemanja Nedovic establishes a 7-point lead for the red side of Belgrade in the first ever Belgrade derby. It's Partizan Belgrade 33, Crvena Zvezda 40 in round 12 of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. While fans stay with us for some halftime content, we're going to go courtside to get the players before they go into the changing room. First, it's Filip Petrusev from Crvena Zvezda. He came off the bench to provide a spark with 8 points. Well, Petrusev with those 8 points knocked down a 3-pointer. And we're going to talk to the man of the moment, Matthias Lesor. Well, look at the two of the front court players. Petrusev on the right with those 8 points. Lesor on the left with 7 points, but 10 rebounds, including 7 on the offensive glass. Well, first half highlights in the first ever meeting between Partizan Belgrade and Crvena Zvezda. Partizan jumped out to an early lead on the back of some stingy defense. Vildoza finally returned the favor here as he picked the pocket of Jan Madar. And it took Crvena Zvezda about a quarter and a half to finally get themselves in front, largely due to the contribution of this man, Matthias Lesor, who's got 10 rebounds and 7 points, almost a double-double, most of that coming in the first quarter. Well, Nedovic comes off the bench to provide some offensive productivity. The leading scorer, he has 9. And then the defense of Crvena Zvezda really started to turn the tide of the black and white. The turnover starting to mount for Partizan. They've got 8 turnovers at the halftime intermission. Hassan Martin with a couple of blocks at the back of the defense. And you can see what it meant to the Crvena Zvezda players as they are vying for bragging rights here in the city. Look at that. Crvena Zvezda just 20% from behind the arc, 8% for Partizan. Let's hope the law of averages improve for both clubs as we get ready for second half play here at the halftime intermission. Well, welcome back to Belgrade. It's halftime in the first ever meeting between Partizan Belgrade and Crvena Zvezda, the red side of the city, with a lead here at halftime, 40-33. They've been paced in scoring by Serbian international Nemanja Nedovic with 9 points. And we'll take a look here at how the game has progressed. You can see that Partizan dominated for the first quarter and a half, and then once Crvena Zvezda got themselves in front, they haven't looked back, and they've extended it to a 3-possession lead here at halftime. Players back on the floor. We'll take a look at the leaders in the respective categories. Kevin Punter, 9 points. Nemanja Nedovic, 9 points, including the last score of the first half. And Filip Petrushev with 8 points coming off the bench for Coach Ivanovic. We're going to go courtside to get the coaches as they come out of the changing room. First, from the black and white side, it is Coach Obradovic. We'll get his thoughts on how his team played in the opening 20 minutes. Yeah, Partizan gave up 29 points in that second quarter. And, you know, Coach Obradovic is right. Surprise, surprise, he's the master. You can see his club are 1 of 12 from behind the arc, just 8%. You would have thought that will pick up in the second half. They are a potent offensive team. They average over 80 points per game. And so if Punter can get himself going and James Nunnally can find a touch, then certainly you would expect that shooting from distance to improve. They came out outstanding in the first quarter. They gave just 11 points in the first quarter. Partizan were terrific defensively, but they had some lapses in that second quarter. We'll see what they bring to the table here in the second half. We're going to grab Coach Ivanovic as he comes out of the changing room, and he must be pleased with how his team weathered the storm of this hostile atmosphere. And they've got themselves in a leading position, but there's still 20 minutes left to play in this one. Lots of stories still to tell. And I always think the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half so important. Partizan are going to want to get out and play with that energy that they started the first half with. They'll ride the support of their faithful fans. And they'll try to jump out in front here on Crvena Zvezda. Remember, Red Star bring a 4-game win streak into tonight's game. And it's a 3-game losing streak. And right now we've got Coach Ivanovic. Yeah, the big problem for Crvena Zvezda is how do you start? How do you stop, I beg your pardon, Matthias Lasor? They don't want to start him. They want to stop him. And you can see they too are struggling from behind the arc, just 20%. But a lot of that is a testament to the defense, the on-the-ball defense of Partizan. Madar has been terrific. He's been all over the basketball. Punter's been good defensively, you know, which is not what you expect from your leading scorer. So when your leading scorer can lead on the defensive end too, that just is so good for the way the team approaches. There's Punter there right on cue. So we bring you some of the slow motion images from the first half of play. We'll see who the coaches decide to send out here to start the second half. But all credit to Crvena Zvezda. They stayed composed, they stayed together, and they handled this crowd so well. And I must say, what a marvelous spectacle it is here in Belgrade. Well, if you were with us in the first half, welcome back. If you're just joining us from somewhere else, dobro veče, as they say here, good evening. Filip Petrushev gathers the second quarter honors with those 8 points and 3 rebounds. When does he come back into the game? A very warm Stravo to you if you're just joining us. If you were with us in the first half, welcome back. In the first ever meeting between these two teams from Belgrade. What a basketball culture it is here in Serbia. a real heartland of European basketball. And I like to consider myself relatively young, but for me, the first time that Serbia, big smiles there, or got on the world stage for me was the 1996 Olympics when they gathered a silver medal. Dejan Bodiraga, Vlade Divac was still playing there. Sasha Djordjevic, Sasha Obradovic, Žarko Paspalja. But in 1998, they won the World Cup in Athens. And then most recently, 2002 in Indianapolis, of all places, another gold for what was still Yugoslavia. In those days, it was the former Republic of Yugoslavia, made mostly of Serbian and Montenegrin players. Well, all of a sudden, the fans have made themselves known here. We're back underway in the Stark Arena. Partizan come out with Madar, Punter, Lesor, Papapetru, and Lede, same way they started the game. Both teams have played straight man-to-man throughout. Madar rises for the three. That's off the mark. Crvena Zvezda start with Vildoza, Lazic, Mitrovic, Bentel, and Ognjen Dobric rounds out the starting five. Mitrovic trying to post up inside. You can see he's got a mismatch on Madar. And Yamadar gets called for the foul. So very patient here from Crvena Zvezda as they come out. And they'll get an end line out of bounds. Coach Obradovic, 9-time EuroLeague champion. He won his first title here in 1992 with Partizan. He's also got those 6 titles with Panathinaikos. His shot from Dobric is short. Also titles with Juventud in 94 and Real Madrid in 95. Here's Punter from the free throw line. Got it. Soft touch from Punter. Good start from your leading scorer. And Punter now with 11. Everything runs through Vildoza's hands. Inside to Mitrovic. So Mitrovic, the only guy who didn't start in the first half. It was Kuzmic who started inside, and Kuzmic picked up 2 early fouls. We'll see what part he will play in this. He had his hands full with Matthias Lesor. Here's Vildoza between the circles. Deep 3 from the Argentine. That's no good. And Bentel with the stick back. Well, Ben Bentel in the right place at the right time. And if you're Partizan, that really hurts because you're forcing up a deep 3, but you're not looking after your backboard. Papapetru glides to the basket for an easy 2. Jonas Papapetru in his first season with Partizan. Ooh, Madar, a little bit unlucky. This is an unlucky call for Madar, and you can hear what the fans think about it. Just the second foul on the Israeli. He's pretty much standing still. That's unfortunate. I don't know about that. I think Madar's got a case that he was standing still. Vildoza, couple of seasons with Saski Baskonia. Arrived this season. A steal here from Kevin Punter. Good defense by Punter, and the intelligent foul here by Branko Lazic. It was Dobric with the turnover, but Lazic with the foul. Yeah, he's just trying to come behind and tip it. I think he feels like maybe he didn't even foul. I don't think he has a case for that, but certainly not an unsportsmanlike foul. In comes John Holland, he's going to bring some energy here. He'll get a taste of his first ever EuroLeague derby as Dobrich will step out with that turnover. John Holland, his first season with Crvena Zvezda. He's got to dig in and defend. Papapetru just blows by him. Well, he got some help from Mitrovic to John Holland. Now he's going to switch out on Ledet. And I think Holland's going to get called for jamming a cutter here. Welcome to the ball game, Holland. He gets his name in the scorebook within seconds of arriving. He got beat on the bounce, and then he calls, or he grabs Ledet by the shoulder. He got beat on the dribble there, thanks to his teammate, Luka Mitrovic, from the help side. Oh, good hands by Holland. Really good hands defensively by John Holland as he strips Papapetru. Papapetru's first step might be a bit too quick for him, but he recovers. And now Partizan 6 on the shot clock. Madar, step back 3. Got it. The troika from Yamadar as he points to the rafters. And just like that, now Partizan are back within 1 possession. There's better movement offensively here from Crvena Zvezda. They're getting the entry pass into better locations. Good idea by Mitrovic as he tries to thread the needle, but broken up. Mitrovic had the right idea with the high-low action, just couldn't find the mark. Now Ledet. Inside to, oh, Mitrovic gets away with a push. Well, Luka Mitrovic got away with both hands in his back of Matthias Lasor. Well, Mitrovic can consider himself lucky. Vildoza weaves to the basket. The finger roll finish from Luka Vildoza. Good patience as he used the screen by Mitrovic to good effect. And Vildoza reestablishes that 2-possession lead. Well, great pass by Madar. Bentel's trying to say the foul's on the floor. Great vision here by Lasor. I tell you what, he's got a case for saying it's on the floor. Is Lasor in an act of shooting? Lots to talk about here for the referees. I love this about the referees. They confer, showing good teamwork on the floor themselves. Coach Ivanovic is happy with the call as we go across the other side. Now Martin comes in with the 3 fouls. He was terrific in the first half, but he provided some shot blocking capacity. And so I love this about the referees. The foul is on the floor. So often you see guys going to the line when they haven't started their active shooting. So it's end line out of bounds. And Vildoza commits the foul. Then he runs into Zach Ledet. It's incidental contact by Ledet, who sportingly apologizes. So there's a foul by Vildoza. And then he just collides with Ledet. He took it right in either the sternum or the solar plexus, and he's doubled over with some discomfort. Ben Bentel can consider himself lucky as he laid the lumber on Matthias Lasor. You could hear how loud it is that Ben has to shout across the lane. Bentel shouts across the lane to Hassan Martin just to get his attention. Look at that, the Grosbury, the Gravediggers. Oh, it's just such a spectacle. What a great advertisement for basketball in this part of the world. They've been such a terrific addition to the EuroLeague. Partizan, as Madar converts both free throws. All part of the continent of Europe's Premier Basketball competition allure and luster with this fierce rivalry. Martin has to hand off. And look how far the defense of Partizan pushes the basketball back to the midcourt stripe. Vildoza snaps a pass inside to Martin. Was it blocked by Lesueur? Well, good vision by Vildoza. Well, Martin and Punter both going after the basketball. Who touched it last? Branko Lazic gets his nose in there as well. Hassan Martin from Staten Island, New York. Punter's from the Bronx. And Zach Leday is from Texas. And he just leveled somebody with a screen. Well, I don't know what Leday's doing there, if he's sending a signal or not. There's no doubt about this foul. And he's an experienced player. Like, he knows to stand still on the screen. I wonder if he's just trying to send a little signal there to Luca Vildoza, who's been arguably the best player for Crvena Zvezda. Markovic comes back in at the point, and he's got his hands full. It's just a rough night for Stefan Markovic. At 34, he can't cope with the athleticism of Madar. Vildoza just needs a couple of minutes on the bench. Markovic just has to be steady. Look at the on-the-ball defense of Partizan. Now the ball into the hands of Markovic. Long three from Markovic. It won't go. Partizan look to run. You can see how Crvena Zvezda trying to keep Kevin Punter bottled up on the wing. Now Madar, shot clock running down. Touch pass to Lesueur. It's a tough pass from Madar. And all credit to Markovic. He's trying to find a way to contribute. He puts his body on the line again. He's taken one charge already. And he shakes his head to make sure he's still got all his teeth after he got hit by the truck known as Matthias Lesueur. We're knotted up at 44 each the first time out here in the third quarter. Well, here at the timeout, we get a chance to take a look at tonight's Turkish Airlines flight time moment. This one from the best player in the first half, wearing the black and white of Partizan, with 10 rebounds. Matthias Lesueur tips it, gets it, and stuffs it. And look at the reaction of the crowd as they're loving it. The emotion from the Frenchman with a stick back with authority. On track for a double-double. Lesueur, he had a double-double in the overtime loss to Valencia right here last week. I think it was 22 points and 10 rebounds it was. And there's the line tonight. 7 points, 10 rebounds. Don't forget the 2 assists. Well, this game just perfectly poised. 44 each. There's Petrusev with the 33 on his chest. When does he come back into the game? Well, fans, remember, you can track all the live in-game stats on the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague website. It's allthews.euroleaguebasketball.net. Just click on the link to tonight's game, and you can track the numbers as you watch the images and listen to the sounds of the continent of Europe's premier basketball competition. Yeah, Markovic is looking for a ball screen just to get Madar off him in the backcourt. And now Nedovic on the floor. for Crvena Zvezda. Bentel. Yeah, Bentel takes Tristan Vucevic to school. Just too strong. Obradovic going down the bench. When does he come back with Smailagic? And Ledet, remember, has those 3 fouls. Madar waves off the screen. Rises for the 3. Too strong. Will they go back to Bentel here, who's just, right back to Bentel. No surprise. Probably a bit impatient from Ben Bentel. Needed a couple of more dribbles just to back down the young defender. There's a great expression. Be patient in the post. And look at Lesueur fighting for position on Markovic. Lesueur's getting away with a hold. And the turnover here. Obradovic is going to leave him in the ball game. Tristan Vucevic with the turnover. Right now, everything is in front of Partizan. No questions asked of them. There's no penetration. Great cut by Nedovic. The floater is good. Great backdoor cut by Nedovic. And that's what breaks down defenses, is penetration. Good recognition by Markovic. Markovic and Nedovic, former teammates on the Serbian national team. Papapetru inside. There's the patience in the post that we talk about. Just showed his numbers and demanded the ball. We're knotted up at 48 each. Yeah, it's crazy shot from Nedovic. As Madar looks to run. And he just coughs it right back up. That's a criminal turnover from Madar. And you can see the veteran now, Markovic, just wants to slow things down. Right back into Bentel. Bentel going up, Papapetru gets in, tries to get contact, doesn't get it. And Crvena Zvezda knotted up at 48 each here with Partizan. You can feel the fans. They want to get in front again. Back into the hands of your leading scorer. Punter to the rim. Got it! Kevin Punter with a scoop and score. You knew once the ball went right back to his hands, he's going to try and make something happen. And look at the concentration of Punter as he goes off the window for the finish. It's a tough one now for Punter. It's a big ask for him. You know, he's your scorer. And defensively, he's got the assignment of trying to neutralize Nedovic. Nedovic is the most athletic player and the most talented scorer for Crvena Zvezda. Oftentimes, you know, you want to take your scorer and move him on an easier assignment defensively. You don't want your scorer trying to expend too much energy in defense. So this is an unfortunate foul for Punter. And it's his third. Nedovic making hay from the stripe. He's got 6 of his 12 points. From the line, he's 6 of 7. Makes them both. Lesueur doesn't travel. Nedovic stuck his nose in there. He's trying to take a charge. Good power move. Yeah. And he just traveled. Another turnover. It's the 12th turnover for Partizan. And Jusic on the floor for Partizan. He's electric. Nedovic, when he gets it going, he's electric. He's so expressive with the ball in his hands. He's a terrific athlete. and he can score in bunches. Papa-Petru runs into a crowd. Yeah, really good recognition by Andjusic as he found good space. It's really good by Andjusic. He just creates an angle for Papa-Petru to find him. Just didn't knock down his shot. That's his game, too. He's a real spot-up shooter. And again, Lesor active. Again, his presence just buys his team another possession. He didn't get it, but neither did Markovic. Yeah, Nedovic really soft defensively there. Good recognition as Papa-Petru finishes off the feed from Exum. And 52 each. We've got a possession for each team to come as we wind down the third quarter. Back into the hands of Nedovic. Probably doesn't need a screen to beat Andjusic. Bullet pass to Martin. And Martin converts with a left hand. Good combination between Nedovic and Martin. And now can Partizan level the score here? Exum. Andjusic lets fly with a three. It's off the mark. Well, if you would have made that, I tell you what, this place will be bouncing. And at the end of 3 quarters of play, this game perfectly poised. It's Partizan Belgrade 52, Crvena Zvezda 54 in round 12 of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Well, third quarter won by the hosts 19-14 as they get themselves back in the game. Papa-Petru with 2 of his 8 just there. Vildoza's been influential in this one. He can't stop Jan Madar from scoring. Madar's got 14 points, the leading scorer for Partizan. Kevin Punter with 13. And right there you can see the steal from Madar. 2 steals for the number 4 from Partizan. Great feed here from Markovic to feed Nedovic. The floater from Nedovic. He has 15. High point man right now for the visitors. And this game right on the knife edge. Exactly where you want it. Again, Partizan with that +8 rebounding differential. Both teams with 12 turnovers, and neither team can get it going. 12 and 15% from behind three-point land. Madar comes away with best performance honors in the third quarter. Well, we'll see who the coaches send out here for the start of the fourth quarter. Zach Leday has got 3 fouls. When does he come back into the game? Jan Madar, when does he come back into the game? The high point man, 14 points. Kevin Punter also with 3 fouls, so certainly something to keep an eye on for Partizan. For Crvena Zvezda, it's Hassan Martin with 3, and everyone else is okay. I would say Coach Ivanovic just needs about 2 minutes from Markovic to get Vildoza as long a rest as possible. Here's your 5 on the floor for Crvena Zvezda. Nedovic, Markovic, Dobrich, Petrushev, and Martin. Now Nedovic with the mismatch on Vucevic. You know, I always think this is settling. When you've got a big who's coming out on a perimeter player, Nedovic puts his hand up to apologize. You know, take him on the dribble. Get some penetration. That's easy for the big guy to cope with. Here's Partizan to come with Andjusic, Exum, Lesor, Papa-Petru, and Vucevic. Exum, easy 3 for the Aussie. He's facing the basket, steps into a 3, and Partizan get their first lead of the second half. Everything running through the hands of Nedovic right now. Gets in the lane, nice pass and the stuff from Petrushev. What a great pass by Nedovic. The bounce pass is the scoring pass, and that's what I'm talking about. The penetration breaks down the defense. You know, last possession, Nedovic settles for a three, and right there he tells you and shows you just how important penetration is. Martin steps hard. Somebody has to be open. Skip pass to Exum. Stepped out of bounds. I love that bounce pass and the deep basket got by Petrusev as well as he goes along the baseline. Exum steps into that easy three. Martin has to be soft defensively with those 3 fouls. Luka Mitrovic back on the floor for Crvena Zvezda. Nedovic curls on the screen, and that's way off the mark. Vildoza back on the floor. And Jusic got it! Danilo and Jusic! One of Belgrade's own in his second stint with the club. But Nedovic doesn't stand on ceremony. Goes right back at Partizan. And he gets himself another trip to the line. I love this pass from Vildoza as he headmans it. And Nedovic goes and gets the contact. You see the 3 there from Jusic, but Crvena Zvezda get it out quick. And within a second, they're down the floor. Nemanja Nedovic. Also from Belgrade originally. He's got a silver medal in the Olympics with Serbia in 2016, and from Brazil. Was a Euro Cup champion in 2017 with Malaga. Stefan Lazarevic off the bench. And this is exactly what we want. Close game here in this derby. Real good recipe for basketball. 2 teams who don't like each other too much, facing each other for the first time in the most important competition in the continent of Europe. Fighting for bragging rights in the city, the capital of the country. Doesn't get any better. And Jusic got it off the window and good. And Jusic with a tough, hard-nosed basket. Here's Dobric back on the floor. Yeah, Mitrovic is trying to move. Papapetru won't go. Tough drive by Dobric, and he converts. Ognjen Dobric converts with a left-handed runner. And Lasor right back in the ball game, getting to work. Lasor now with a double-double. He's got 11 points and 10 rebounds. But Crvena Zvezda right back the other way. Mitrovic with the easy deuce. Yeah, this game now starting to loosen up a little bit offensively. Vildoza with the push on Exum, and he acknowledges the foul. Just a second on Vildoza, so he's been smart with his fouls throughout this contest. And Jusic, let's fly. Off the mark, long rebound. Vucevic chases it down. Papapetru steps into a 3, got it! Papapetru, no stranger to derby matches with a 3. Who's going to make a hero of themselves tonight? Vildoza turns it over. And now Papa Petru, I think, is going to get called here. Well, Dobrich, you can see the referees signaling. Is this on Papa Petru? I think it is, you know. He reaches out that left hand to ward off the defender. The question is it unsportsmanlike? Well, they're going to call the foul on Dobrich. Ognian Dobrich gets called for the foul here. Now, we've got the advantage of instant replay, but I think this is on Papa Petru. So does Coach Ivanovic. So does Dobrich. Well, Dobrich comes up worse for wear as well. I'm not sure the referees have got that right, you know. Yeah, Papa Petru, good pivot, rims out. That's exactly where he made the previous three from. Couldn't net that one. Vildoza knifes to the rim, and the scoop and score is good. He found a little crease, and like an American football running back, going through a hole in the line, he got to the rim. Vildoza with 8. Numbers here for Crvena Zvezda if they can pick up the loose ball. Vildoza off the drag screen from Mitrovic. His 3 is off the mark. Well, good tempo to this one. Vukcevic gets his own rebound and converts. Well, how much longer does he stay in the game? We'll find out now with the timeout. All of a sudden now this crowd has found their energy levels, and Partizan reestablished the lead 67-64 at the timeout here in the Stark Arena. That is Miroslav Raduljica. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. Who's a scratch tonight. You can see Nemanja Nedovic with those 17 points. And what a game it's been. Look at that. Basketball, a game of runs, and you can see it right there in that who's been leading. Partizan led through the whole first quarter, into the second quarter. Then Crvena Zvezda got on top through the halftime, into the third quarter. And now it's seesawed back and forth. So Vucevic stays on the floor. That's Petrushev. And right there, Coach Ivanovic has turned this club around. He's got a 4-game win streak on the line. And coming out of the timeout, what are they going to execute? So a foul off the ball here on Danilo and Jusic as he was trying to jam a cutter. Just a second team foul on Partizan. We're just past the midway mark of the 4th and final frame. Yeah, Nedovic comes off a stagger screen. He's got the, well, he had the matchup he wanted, but he just spilled it. He's got Lesor coming down to the perimeter to guard him. He just couldn't keep the handle. Look how Lesor gets down low. Maybe some play acting there from the Frenchman. A bit of je ne sais quoi, but Nedovic with the turnover. It's the 14th turnover against Crvena Zvezda. And sometimes these things happen, you know, in rivalry games. It's not a clean game. Neither team really shooting well from distance, but sometimes you just got to gut it out. Look at this. Great defense by Lazic, the captain, with a real bit of good defense. Vildoza can't convert as Lasora rotates from the help side. Does enough to put up the shot. Now it's the trailer. Vying inside with Petrushev for inside position. Again, Branko Lazic with a great steal. Well, terrific defense by your captain who's leading from the front. Is Lazic in the act of shooting? Look at this. He just comes over from the help side. Is he yet in the act of shooting? He's one pass away. And, you know, coaches talk about being on the line and up the line. You know, some coaches talk about this as like a pack line defense. And so Branko Lazic is one pass away from the ball there, which means he should be really denying the ball to his man. But he steps off his man. And he takes away the penetration. And he generates the steal. I'm singing his praises, but he misses a free throw. Can he make one of two? He does. Just a one-score game. Both teams man-to-man throughout. Mano-a-mano, eyeball to eyeball. Exum. Great pass to the corner. It just won't go. Exum with the rebound, and he converts. Dante Exum, Johnny on the spot, and converts. Well, the chess match now between these two masterful coaches. Yeah, this is a block on Papa Petru. It'll be the fourth team foul on Partizan. He moves so well without the ball, does Nedovic. He's quite a good character, Nedovic, as well as he helps Papa Petru to his feet. Madar back in for Exum. Yeah, Madar's got 3 fouls. He's got to be careful. Nedovic trying to break down Madar. Kicks to Vildoza, who steps into a 3. It's blocked. Great defense by Partizan. Now they can make it a 3-possession game. With just over 3 to play. Punter, stop and pop. Got it! Kevin Punter drops the deuce. And this will bring a timeout from the red side of Belgrade as the black and white side of Belgrade goes crazy. And right now, these Partizan fans know they're close to getting a victory across the crosstown foes. 71-65. And the arena right now is all black and white. We'll take a look here at the timeout at tonight's 7 days magic moment from Hassan Martin with the block. And then he gets the break in motion. All credit to our producers who find some defense tonight for the 7 days magic moment. Madar's too quick for Markovic. But it's great when you got somebody who's got your back. And Martin helps Stefan Markovic avoid being beat on the dribble. Martin's got 3 fouls and 6 points. And the man from Staten Island in his first season with Crvena Zvezda played for Olympiacos. Well, I can tell you, fans, that the Milan Panathinaikos game went to overtime. It looks like Panathinaikos will go on to win that one. They're up 8 in the overtime period with just about 13 seconds to play. Who's going to win this one? It's been close throughout. The largest lead for Crvena Zvezda has been 7. Neither team able to establish a double-digit lead. Big possession here now. And you can see how Madar really denying the ball to Vildoza. Petrushev finally finds Vildoza. Now to Nedovic. Oh, Nedovic, he moves so well. Can't get it. Hassan Martin maybe gets away with a push inside. He takes a page out of the offensive rebounding book from Matthias Lesor. And Martin with a timely basket to make it a 4-point game. Punter. It won't go. Vildoza rides the high screen. Let's fly with a three. Knocks it down. Look at Vildoza showing plenty of courage and plenty of heart as he knocks down a three to make this a 1-point game. As Coach Obradovic remonstrates with his team, there it is. Just 1 point in it inside 2 minutes to play. Well, Vildoza with a timely three just rides the screen and knocks down a three. You can see what Coach Obradovic thinks about that. That brings Crvena Zvezda to within a point. Well, a long way to go still in this one. Lazic comes back on the floor for some defense. Kevin Punter with 15. He's right on his average of 16. And we'll see what Partizan go into here as they come out of the timeout. Well, it looks like Lazic is going to draw the task of guarding Kevin Punter. Vildoza almost picked the pocket of Madar. Crunch time. Inside 2 to play. Who's the foul on? If it's Martin, it is. It's his 4th. We'll tell you, there's a lot of leather there. There's a lot of leather there. Hassan Martin, he'll disagree with the call. Zach Leday back on the floor. Now, he's been out a long stretch. Can he get into the rhythm of the game? Shot clock running down. Papapetru wants it. Nedovic. Papapetru with a baseline jump shot. Well, not the best look from Partizan, but they manufacture something. And they've got themselves up 3. Nedovic signaling to his players. That's so loud in here, he has to use hand signals to communicate the offense. Vildoza's the hot hand. Vildoza! With the tree play! Vildoza knocks it up at 73 each! And this game just gets better and better and better. Vildoza levels the score. And another timeout on the floor here. There's your score. 73 each. Inside 2 minutes to play in the Stark Arena in round 12 of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Well, this game has been back and forth. We'll see what Partizan come out with here as we take a look at some of the numbers. Punter with 15. Nedovic with 17. Nedovic averages 12 a game. Vildoza with 14. He averages 13 a game. Well, who's going to etch themselves here as the hero in the first ever meeting between these two clubs on the EuroLeague stage? They've never met in the Euro Cup either. $73 each, just over $1 to play. Into Papapetru. He gets a double team. So now, Crvena Zvezda have to scramble. Good up fake by Punter. He just missed it. He had a clean look at it, missed it. Into the hands of Vildoza. Now Crvena Zvezda, if they go deep in the shot clock here, can get a 2-for-1 as they manage this clock. Nedovic keeps his dribble alive, in no hurry. Gets it back. Shot clock at 5. Now he's going to have to deal. Nedovic on the left hand. Nedovic with the runner. Probably went too early. Could have gone straight to the backboard. Well, Nedovic with a crucial mitch. And now Partizan with a chance to get in front. There's about a 15-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Everything going through the hands of Papapetru. Madar, it won't go. Who's got the rebound? Punter to go ahead. Punter shot won't go, and Martin with the rebound. And now Crvena Zvezda with a chance to win the ball game here. Here's your last possession of your game. Vildoza kicks. Nedovic rises. The Troika! Nemanja Nedovic with the Troika from the corner to potentially win the first ever derby in Belgrade. The kick from Vildoza. Nedovic rises. And all of a sudden, the red and white section of the arena goes crazy. Nedovic in the corner. Let's fly. And he knocks down the Troika. Look at this. The Crvena Zvezda fans. Finally, the cameraman finds them. And they are in raptures of joy as they've got themselves up 3 with just seconds to play. Well, what a fitting piece of drama for this first ever meeting. They call this the Vachiti Derby. I apologize for my pronunciation to our Serbian fans. The eternal derby, the first ever meeting, and so fitting that a man who grew up in Belgrade, Nemanja Nedovic, very well may etch himself into the history of this storied club with a 3 from the corner. Nemanja Nedovic, 20 points on the night. Well, if you're Crvena Zvezda now, how do you defend this? Nedovic is talking to John Holland. He comes out because he's soft defensively, Nedovic. And now we've got another timeout here as Ivanovic wants to talk things through. Well, here's the question. If you are Crvena Zvezda, do you dig in and just defend and risk going to overtime with Kevin Punter on the floor? Or do you foul? We've had one overtime game already in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague tonight. Panathinaikos won at home against Milan, 90-77. Alba lost at home to Fenerbahce, 75-104. And Maccabi beat Valencia, 84-68. Valencia won here last week in an overtime loss, a heartbreaking loss for Partizan. They've got another potentially heartbreaking loss tonight again. You know, they worked so hard, Partizan. Their defense in the first quarter was sensational. As you see, Coach Abramovich and Coach Ivanovic, both of them got their teams playing so well. That young lady's checking out the stats on the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague website. So here's your question. If you're Crvena Zvezda, do you just play defense or do you commit a foul so you don't get a 2.2 seconds left? You definitely don't want to foul in the act of shooting. I think you just dig in here and defend. You don't want to risk it. Ivanovic directing traffic still. Punter fades to the far corner. Madar, three's on the way. It won't go. So Crvena Zvezda will win the first ever EuroLeague derby between Partizan Belgrade and Crvena Zvezda. They win it here in the Stark Arena in front of the Partizan fans. And that man there, Nemanja Nedovic, won't have to pay for supper on the red and white side of Belgrade ever again after knocking down that three. What an enthralling contest. What a great rivalry game in the continent of Europe's premier basketball competition. It's why we love this competition. Here's your final score in the first ever meeting on the EuroLeague stage. Partizan Belgrade 73, Crvena Zvezda 76 in round 12 of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Well, stay with us, fans, as we wrap this one up. And the Crvena Zvezda players come over to a hardcore group of Crvena Zvezda fans. I'm told it's as many as 2,000, but they have been completely drowned out in this din of noise from the black and white side. And those Partizan players, your heart goes out to them as they slunk off the floor. Just a heartbreaking loss, another one for them here. They lost in overtime last week to Valencia. They win and they lose again in the death off a three from Nemanja Nedovic. Somebody better tell those fans it's cold outside in the Belgrade air. Well, the Red Star shines bright tonight here in Belgrade as they win the historic meeting between these two clubs, both of them founded in 1945, both of them dominant in the Serbian League. Partizan with 21 national titles. Crvena Zvezda with 22. Of course, Partizan with that EuroLeague title back in 1992. But what a victory tonight for the red and white side of the city on the Sava. Well, here's some numbers as we wrap this one up. Neither team really shot it well from distance, and how fitting is it that a three wins it? Partizan dominant on the backboard at 39-26, but you know, as I was saying, sometimes in rivalry games you throw the numbers out the window and it's about heart, it's about character, it's about grit. Both teams had plenty of that, no doubt. But Nedovic with a three, 20 points tonight. None other, our Adidas player of the game, Nemanja Nedovic, one of Belgrade's own, on this shot here from the corner, off the feed by Luka Vildoza. The corner three-pointer, Vildoza just throws it to the corner, and Nedovic lets it fly. 20 points, he was 9 of 10 from the stripe. Can you believe it's the only three-pointer Nedovic made tonight? He was 1 of 7 from behind the arc. And we've got him courtside now to get his thoughts on tonight's victory.
Nemanja Nedovic, he just made the 1-3. He was 1 of 7 from behind the arc. 20 points tonight. And he will forever go down in the lore of Belgrade basketball as he won the first ever derby on the EuroLeague stage between these two storied clubs. Here's the man who threw him the pass, his point guard, Luka Vildoza. Well, Vildoza is here. He arrived in round 4, and part of the turnaround of this club, look at that, he's 80% from the floor, 14 points, a PIR of 21, and Vildoza had 6 assists, none sweeter than that pass that found the hands of Nedovic. We're going to get tonight's winning coach, Dusko Ivanovic, whose team now have won 5 games in a row. Well, the thoughts there of Coach Ivanovic, and all credit to him. What a classy gesture to pay tribute to this public crowd here. Absolutely. As a player, he was a 2-time EuroLeague champion himself with the old Europlastica club from Split back in 1989 and 90. And he'll look at the numbers and kind of scratch his head and say, we shot 25% from the three-point line. We got only 8 fast break points. We turned it over 16 times. But we'll talk now to Coach Obradovic. Well, quick words there from Coach Obradovic, who must be so disappointed. His team were outstanding defensively in the first quarter in particular, and you heard exactly what Coach Ivanovic said, like we were having a hard time getting solutions. Crvena Zvezda scored only 11 points in the first quarter. It was 20-11 at the end of the first quarter, but all credit to Crvena Zvezda. They hung in there. They weathered the storm as you look at the numbers here for Partizan. And we'll take a look at some highlights which explain the first ever meeting between these two clubs. Partizan paced in scoring by Kevin Punter with 15 points. Papa Petru had 13. That man there, Matthias Lasor, had a double-double with 11 and 10. But Crvena Zvezda did enough to hang in there in the first half. They got themselves in front in the second quarter. They were led in scoring by Nemanja Nedovic. Here's Lasor with a dime for Lede. Nedovic had 20 points. Petrushev came off the bench with 10. Vildoza had 14 and 6. And here we are right at the death of the game. Oh, I beg your pardon, this is a shot from Madar. He would love to have that one right at the death. Vildoza pulling the strings, weaving. Yeah, nifty move there by the Argentine international. Great defense here by Madar. He had a couple of steals. Stefan Markovic will be seeing him in his sleep tonight. But Markovic did enough to come off the bench to give this man a break, to give him some legs and energy, and the vision from Vildoza to find Nedovic, who pauses and poses for the photograph. A final look at the numbers. Plus 13 on the board for Partizan. 14 turnovers from Crvena Zvezda, 16 for Partizan. That continues to be an Achilles heel for them. Look at that. Partizan are perfect from the stripe. Just 8 of 8, though. They got to the line only 8 times. Crvena Zvezda got there 16 times. Neither team shooting it well from distance. But the 1-3 in the end by Nedovic. The scores come flooding in now. Madrid against Monaco. Those two teams, that score to come, both in the top 8. Maccabi with a win at home. Alba fall again to Fenerbahce, who keep rolling. Panathinaikos come from behind to forced overtime to beat a very, very struggling Milan team. How much longer does Coach Messina stay at the helm? And here's how things look. Look at Milan right down at the foot of the table. But for Crvena Zvezda, they jump into 11th position. They improve their record to 6-6. Partizan fall to 4-8. And the season now starts to take some shape. But between the top, I suppose, 3 through 11 teams, it's very close. Looking ahead to next week, Crvena Zvezda at home across town in the Alexander Nikolic Hall against Žalgiris. And Partizan trying to search for a win. They go to Asvel Villeurbanne as they try to get a win on the road. They've now lost 4 in a row. Crvena Zvezda improved their win streak to 5 games in a row, all of them since Coach Ivanovic has arrived. Well, from me, Liam Canny, it is good night from Belgrade in the first ever meeting between Partizan and Red Star. The Star shines bright tonight in Belgrade. Join us tomorrow for continuing coverage in a Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.